Once we got in, we found that Larry O'Brien's door was locked to his office. It adjoined the reception area there. And so there'd been so much time gone by, and there'd been, frankly, so much noise made in gaining entry that we just didn't really want to proceed to jimmy or break another lock.
Instead, McCord placed a bug on the secretary's switchboard and a second phone nearby, while the Cubans got to work on the documents.
It went all right. We took pictures and everything went just fine.
They set up a listening post in the Howard Johnson motel opposite, but the bugs produced only trivia.
I was distressed by them. They had nothing of value. I'm getting hairdressing appointments and things like that.
I talked to Mitchell, and I showed Mitchell what was the first fruits of Liddy's endeavor, and he looked through it rather quickly and agreed with me that these were worthless.
What they wanted was specifically, well, what's Larry O'Brien up to, and what's he doing, and what's he saying? We were going to have to go back in again and put in more devices and make sure that we got what they were looking for.
Mr. Magruder said, listen, Gordon, this is what I want. I want what Larry O'Brien has right here. And he struck his bottom desk drawer, which is where we kept what we had on the Democrats.
Well, I was telling Liddy, look, I want the real stuff, the information that's important, not this stuff that you've gotten for us. It has no meaning whatsoever to the campaign.
And he said, I want everything photographed. And I said to myself, my Lord, what was supposed to be now a quick 5-minute in-and-out repair mission is a multi-hour photo recon mission.
When they asked us to go for the second operation, they told me to get up, I don't know, 50 roll of film. So I multiplied 50 for 36, and I said, Jesus Christ, these people want a lot of pictures, you know.
Entry night was to be Friday night, June 16th. In anticipation of which the Miami team arrived in Washington that afternoon.
I was not happy that day, and I was not happy before that day. I mean, the operation went in a way that was not showing professionalism. Besides, I have a personal problem. That day I got divorced, you know, and I was kind of relieved and upset at the same time, you know. Everything went wrong. The judge that divorced me died that night, too.
The Cubans rendezvoused with their bosses, Hunt and Liddy, in the Watergate Hotel. Jim McCord and his assistant were across the street in the Howard Johnsons, waiting until the coast was clear.
There was a man working in the back very, very late. I mean, he stayed and he stayed and he stayed. It's a Friday night. I mean, this was some dedicated Democrat. We thought he'd never go home. Finally, about 1:45, the word came from across the way at the lookout.
Jim said to whoever he was talking to on the phone, I think we can make a go. And with that, he said, Al, you're going to remain here. And he walked over to the bed and he took a walkie-talkie. He said, I want you to use this.
It was decided by Hunt and Liddy that McCord, who had access to the building, would go into the Watergate building and go down there and open the thing from the inside and put in tapes in the door.
McCord collected his men and tried to go back in.
We came to the back door and tried the handle, and the door was latched. Someone obviously had removed the tape, taken it off in that brief period of time.
Had the police been alerted, McCord's bosses had to make a snap judgment.
I said, let's scratch this. And Liddy said, no, this is McCord's show. He's got to go through with it. And it's his fault that we're here. And besides, it's very important to my career that we do this.
You know, I felt like refusing, saying, no, this is far enough. But then I figured, you know, I was older, getting older. I wasn't a young kid anymore. And my personal feeling was these people don't think I'm scared, you know.
McCord put the telltale tape back on the doors. And this time, the break-in team made it into the Democratic Party offices.
We were in contact by transceiver with our men inside the Watergate and also with the lookout, Mr. Baldwin, across the street.
Now the reception area to the Democratic headquarters lights up, the actual reception room, which I can see directly across from where I'm standing. And I note 3 individuals come into the reception area. Base to Unit 1. Are any of our guys dressed casually, or are they in suits?
1 to 3, negative. All our people are in business suits. Why?
Well, we've got a problem.
Shit. 1 to 2, are you reading this? Come in.
3 plainclothes policemen discovered the break-in team crouched under some desks and ordered them to come out with their hands up.
Out comes a fellow, a middle-aged man, one of the Miami men dressed in a suit.
They were more nervous than we were when they found us there. I mean, we were dressed up, and we were not the common burglar.
Here comes a second man out from behind the second desk, and he's dressed in a suit. And he doesn't look like a burglar either.
They come in waving guns and so forth. This is the police. What are you guys doing here?
They were wired. They were hyper. It didn't all add up. It didn't compute with them what was going on and who they had, except they knew we didn't belong there.
The break-in was over. But for President Nixon, Watergate had barely begun.
Next week, the president takes charge of the cover-up at 9:05.